Alright, looks like we are live. Episode 4 of Dredfunn Draws. Happy Super Bowl. Just getting bored, so decided I would do one of these. Alright. So, we get my magic wheel out. We're down to the Tick, Black Canary, Beast, Iron Fist, and the Punisher. We'll zoom it into. Who's it gonna be? Give it a spinneroonie. And we are drawing the Punisher. Alright, now I have not drawn the Punisher much. I've done a few quick sketches here and there, but other than that, not much. So this one is probably going to be maybe a two-parter, because I've got a rough idea what I was thinking about doing. As you can see right here, got a nice little quick sketch of just a one-off city skyline, really focusing a lot on the contrast between the darks and the lights. So I think that's probably what I'm going to try to do. So we will see what happens. Again, just trying to be loose with a lot of this stuff. Alright, so we're going to draw the Punisher. Alright, I got my little reference over here. Alrighty, looks like just gonna have them in like a dark alleyway sorta. So just gonna first rough it a slight area. Gonna have them slightly turned so this ear will be more prominent than the other ear. It's gonna have wide shoulders. And yeah, not too bad, not great, but not too bad. Just trying to kind of get an idea where I'm going to put everything. So we have one arm coming down here, another one in the chest. I've been finding that for me, just being loose with my pencil, it's been helping a lot. And sort of kind of like scribbling it in a little bit here and there. Doesn't always work for everything. So I think I'm going to have this hand sort of facing. I'll see, that's it. I got started off with his head slightly turned, so I'm going to want to slightly turn his body. That means everything's going to stay roughly the same, just slightly different. So this arm is going to come down and almost be hidden behind the lats, and then this leg is going to go, yeah, that's a little better. Now I'm going to draw him in a coat or a cloak, or what do you call those, a duster. So I'm just going to loosely pop in this stuff here. Yeah, not too bad. Now, I'm just going to make, you know what, we'll just focus on the character in the foreground first, because I got a lot of back building here that I can add to it, but I'm just going to focus on Frank Castle first. Now, that's a good basis to go with. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in and sort of detail what it is that I want to do. I'll bring you guys in as close as I can here on the face. Now I'm actually going to pull up a lot of these lines because I don't like exactly where the position is. I don't like that either. Go back to that messy stuff. We'll see what we can pull out. I'm feeling like this will probably be an ink drawing of some kind. Although I'm probably just going to keep it black and white. Yeah. Now, what I'm going to do here in the head area is just sort of kind of get a rough idea where I'm blocking out certain areas with dark with shadow, and other areas are going to be kind of highlighted, so this part of the forehead will actually be cascaded in light. Hairstyle, I'm going to go with like somewhat short hair. I'm not a big fan of the guy who plays him on the TV show. I don't think he's particularly a bad actor. I'm just not a fan of him as the Punisher. Alright, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just detail this up. So this is going to all sort of get shaded. You're not actually going to see much of his eyes. I might come back and add a little bit of white. His forehead is going to be furrowed. This is where doing a lot of different portrait work can really come in handy. Or just make a sick mess of everything and screw it all up, who knows. So that's all going to be shaded. I'm going to shade underside here, the cheekbones, come around here. I'm actually probably going to shade most of this up. You can see how they're all broken up into little sections. I mean, I'm sure you've seen YouTube videos, or if not, you know, after you're done checking me out, go check them out online. Where it shows how you can break the face down into geometric shapes and all that stuff. So this will all be shaded, a little bit of a mess. Not too bad. I said, trying to go for loose. Here we go. We're gonna go in here and now, like I said, most of them is gonna be covered up with a duster or like one of those big long cloaks. So I'm just sort of blocking that in right now. Now the be-all end-all of the Punisher, of course, is the big old skull on his chest. Mine's going to be partially obstructed by the duster, but that's okay. I mean, he's worn it many times and you get the idea. So I'm going to give him a low-cut t-shirt neck. And, oh crap, dropped my pencil. That's the problem with this pencil, it's so delicate. So just sort of deciding where I'm going to shade in most of this. So you can see on the head what I've got shaded in here. So I'm going to show some t-shirt lines, and then up in here we're going to just some guns down there. So yeah, I'm thinking this will probably be a two-parter with probably do some inking. I don't know. Gotta get my little pillow out for my sore arm. Alright, so the duster and all this stuff is gonna pretty much be dark. I'm gonna go ahead and give them all the accoutrements. So a lot of this is actually going to just be dark. The shirt, actually make that whole thing dark. The pants, make dark, but add a little fringe here for where you can buckle in stuff like bullets and cartridges and magazines. All the stuff the Punisher needs to blow people away. Not people, bad guys. Always bad guys. From a certain point of view. Again, there I go. Alright, so this hand is going to have, I'll switch this, roll this over, and you can still see it. Just a rough outline of the gun, the hand. Not so bad, not so great. I could spend like another half hour or so gussying this up and making it look super sweet. And I suppose I could, but know, I think it would look good with the inks. Like I said, I've got stuff planned in my head for unveiling the way I approach just penciling. Again, it's just a practice, a habit I've gotten into, and it's not that strange to do. In this comic book type world nowadays, you can't just, well, you can, I don't want to say de facto type things, but it's very hard to be just a penciler, just an inker, just a whatever, you know. So I wanted to see what my work looked inked, so I learned how to ink it, which is weird because I actually learned how to draw everything pretty much by using pens, old big pens. Alright, so yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and ink this puppy up. So yeah, that's not too bad. So what's going to happen is when I go ahead and start inking this, a lot of these dark areas I'm going to actually leave, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to be inking with some super black ink here. The way I prefer to do it is add it at the very end after I've done all my line work. Just a matter of preference. How many millions are watching?
I think there's only 2 of us.
2!
You're competing with the Super Bowl, so...
Yeah, I figured as much.
But I'm enjoying watching you.
Yeah. Okay, so... So we'll zoom in and we'll do that face. So again, a lot of it's going to be in shadow, so only this ear is really going to show up. You can detail your forehead different ways. I mean, I like to do it a certain way. Turn the head. This, like I said, this is all going to be dark, so it's not going to get much detail. Just a matter of preference for me. Alright, the chin. I'm actually going to put this part not quite in as much shadow. Alright, I'm going to detail up this a bit. Add some hatch lines. One thing I've noticed about my drawings and stuff is I definitely gravitate more towards like characters like the Punisher. I like Batman, which is another one that I can do pretty well. Spider-Man and stuff, you know, not as I said, I have to work a little bit on it. It can't exactly be how I would envision them. Alright, so that's looking pretty much okay. Gonna give him a bit of some stubble. Frank Castle always seems to be stubbly. So at all this area, it's going to be dark black. I'll add some of those lines. Now we'll zoom out some, and this part, really, there's not a lot of detail in here. Ultimately, start to lose my paper. I'm going to get a slightly thicker pen and mark down the coat. Get the spot too. Not sure how much of that buckle I'm gonna actually end up detailing. Okay. Again, this part's all gonna be pretty much shaded, except for a little bit here. Alright, not looking too bad. A lot of it's gonna get darkened. What are we at here? 24 minutes. That's gonna work out pretty good. So now on the duster here, a lot of this is gonna just be black. There's going to be a bit of a dividing line between the other blacks, which are going to be over here. So this one, So most of this coat is going to be black. All this area here, everything here. Same on this side, just a couple of these fringes. Hopefully it'll look good. It might just look like crap, who knows. Alright. This line I gotta bring down here. Do his buckle. Cartridges, that's gonna be all black too. This will be black. Scott McDaniel is one of those artists that does a lot of black lines in his work. I remember reading a lot of looking at his work on the original run on Nightwing. Always loved the way that he blended his blacks. Like I said, there was a lot of blacks, and like the way that they bled into one another. That's what I mean by blending them. Okay, I'm just going to finish up this collar here. Again, a lot of this gonna be black, so we're gonna turn it around. I'm gonna do the guns here. Break out a ruler for this part. Not sure what all these terms are for the parts of the gun, but on the top side it's kind of like a tube. You're gonna have these like where the casings shoot out, and then I guess the hammer. But again, depends on what you're doing. A lot of times, at least with the Punisher and others, I've noticed that the guns look awesome, and I'll go to research them to see, you know, what they were based on, and or if they were real. And you know, a lot of times they're not. Just artists that get really good at drawing guns. And then they sort of make their own little hybrid versions of the guns. At least that's what I imagine. Who knows? Maybe there are guns like that and I just haven't found them. So, little casing here. Safety switch. Again, I'm going to put them in a glove, but a lot of it is going to be dark and black, most of it, if not all of it. Yeah, so and then go back in and take my smaller pen. I'm just going to go in and again hatch these areas with some single lines. I'm also a big fan of the more sleek original version of the Punisher, although I do like the fact that he's got war gear and all that kind of stuff. I prefer that original, you know, with the, it almost looks like he's wearing a jumpsuit with the skull on it. It's an all black. Now you see him with coats and cloaks and t-shirts and all kinds of different stuff. So yeah, that's not too bad. Yeah, maybe I might have just got too ambitious with thinking about adding buildings and stuff. Alright, so I'm actually going to pull out the graphite now. You can see there's not a lot to this drawing really. When I go in and start adding the blacks, that'll definitely add some to it. Alright, no time like the present. Add those blacks, and then I'm going to let it dry and cure, and then I'll either add a background or we'll add a little bit of color or something to it. But what are we at? 31 minutes in, not too bad. So this is just some super black speedball ink. Got a little bit of water to clean the brushes. Yeah, lost one of my viewers. Nothing.
You lost a viewer.
That's okay. Alright, just get out. Gonna use a fine liner and one of these. So actually we'll go in and we'll take a look at Mr. Castle's face. What I like to do also is have like just a little chunk of paper off to the side. Whenever I'm using a brush, I find it helps just to check the consistency of your ink before you go adding it. So all these areas are going to get just a little smattering of the black. A lot of times I won't even add this until I'm done coloring or adding gray tones, but since we're doing all kinds of weird stuff, let's just try it and see what happens. So now you can see what it was that I was looking at when I was bringing this picture together. The excitement is intense. Welcome to my world all the time. Down here thinking crazy thoughts. I think I can take over the world. I think I can take over the world. All I need is access to one Coca-Cola plant. I will drug them all. What was that stuff you were telling me? MDM day or whatever?
MDMA.
Yeah. DMT, drug them up. Alright, so yeah, you can see that that's a nice little adding there. Now I'm going to switch to a thicker brush, and we're going to go in and, I said, ink all these dark spots. Can't remember the inker that I used to really love his work over, I believe it was Jim Aparo from Detective Comics or Batman, one of the two. I really liked it when I saw those two guys together.
Shout out to Chris.
Chris who?
40 Set.
Oh, he's watching?
Yeah.
That Chris? Well, I know.
Chris.
Well, I know, like...
How many Chris's do you actually know?
I went to school with a Chris.
Yeah, but how many do you actually talk to on a regular basis?
3.
You're a liar.
No.
You don't have 3 Chris's that you talk to on a regular basis.
I talked to Chris I went to school with like 9 months ago.
That's not regular.
It's pretty regular for me. Chris, the guy who introduced me to Jan, played football with him. There's another Chris. I talked to him like maybe a year ago. I can't remember.
Okay.
There's 3.
Uh-huh.
So I know a lot of Chris's. Don't be acting like I don't know Chris's.
Chris Burns, yeah, you talked to him before Christmas.
Yeah, the Chris is one. We have a lot of Chris friends. We have a lot of Dave friends.
We have an insane amount of Dave friends.
Yeah.
Everybody's Dave.
Yeah. And I have a lot of Keith friends online too.
What?
Keith, like
Really?
a bunch of Keiths. And I've met a couple of them, I think, but I keep getting them confused. There's the guy who does the dolls. Or is he a Kevin?
No, Keith.
Yeah, Keith. Yeah. And then there's another Keith that I haven't met, but he draws.
He doesn't do dolls, he does mutilation.
Yes. Yeah, okay, sorry. Well, as I'm inking,
Yeah, I suppose, okay.
he does those
Precious moment.
precious moments. Makes them even more precious.
Precious.
So, how's Chris and the Fortean slip?
I don't know, he hasn't said.
That's because you're acting like I don't know so many people. Before you crushed the soul out of my life, I was a pretty popular guy.
Sure.
Yep. Alright, just wrapping her up here. As you can see, as the black is coming together, trying to be conscious of not messing it up. Because definitely digital artists have got it made. They can just pick a digital brush and go to town. I gotta actually use a real brush.
I feel like it would be difficult.
Oh yeah, there's a learning curve for sure. It's not easy. But there's benefits, or there wouldn't be that many people switching.
They can just like go backwards, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, and the quality of your picture is no longer limited by your technical talent. I mean, if you want to be a watercolor painter, you've got to spend time learning how to be a watercolor painter. You can digitally watercolor paint and produce comparable work. That's why, like, we see some of those artists that do oil paintings, but it's all done digitally, and it's like, well, but I can do it for real. Oh, can you? Okay. Well, sure, that's great. That's probably why yours looks maybe marketably better than others, but, you know, there is a risk to reward. At least I think personally. I mean, I have nothing against a digital artist. I think it's great. I just think sometimes some of the digital artists I've run into aren't I don't know how to say it nice. They haven't put enough time in with real pen and paper. At least, they might think they have, and hey, sure, they might have, but I mean, if you consistently draw your characters in a way that isn't, I don't know how to say it in a nice way.
You can't say it in a nice way.
If your shit sucks, son, pack it up. Or not pack it up, but just
keep working at it.
Yeah, keep working at it. Be prepared. Especially if you're doing it unsolicited. Like, hey, look at my stuff. Looks like shit. Oh, well, thanks. Fuck, you couldn't have kept that to yourself. I would have. I would have if you hadn't have bothered me.
You big potty mouth.
Yeah, okay, sorry. But, even myself, I have to constantly go back and reteach myself little things, and I'm always getting humbled. That's good. Stay away from people that say, I know for sure. I am 100% certain this is the right way.
Art's subjective. There really isn't a right way.
No, art, yeah. And in life, too, I think. Like, if you're going to make wings out of rocks, chances are you're not going to fly. But that's not to say that you can't, like, look how heavy a plane is. It's pretty heavy. Heavier than some rocks. I don't know where I'm going with that exactly.
Yeah, I was wondering myself.
No, just context again. It's not impossible to paint in certain styles in certain ways, but it's hard. Anyways, this looks about done for now. Finish that up. Anyways, my little tirade on art crap, all the hate coming. Nah, who cares? It doesn't matter if there's a million watching or 4 or 5. But yeah, I'm happy with that for my Punisher. What are we into at 43 minutes? There's really not much else I can do right now. It'd just be a drying process. And technically this is actually a curing process because it's not just that it has to dry. The ink itself has to dry, but it has to cure to the page. It's all technical and crap, but basically it just means it's got to dry. I mean, it can look dry, and then you paint on it, and because of the amount of ink that I've added in certain areas, that will be pulled up. So you got to wait until, even though it's dry, it's still curing. It's whatever the hell curing means. I don't know. It's pickling it. It's pickling it. I'll make up my own art detail. So yeah, that's so this one I'm definitely gonna do a part 2 once this dries. Maybe we'll throw a background or something. But yeah, so this was Dredfunn's episode 4 of the Wheel of Chance, which is turning out to be a stupid idea.
Stop.
It's okay, I got other ideas. But yeah, if you like this, don't forget to subscribe, pass it on, share. Yeah, check out my content on Instagram, YouTube. Nah, I need a bigger wheel. Yeah, okay, sure. I'll get a bigger wheel, Chris.
The wheel is rather hard to see.
It is. But it was a test wheel. Okay, maybe I'll get the grandsons to help me build a giant wheel that ticky tick ticks. Yeah, and I can hold it up to this one.
Ooh, yeah, like the ones from the fair.
Yeah.
I don't know where you'd even buy one of those.
You got a mug of Carney. Stories MTG, that's pain, isn't it?
Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. It's not stupid. Just you. Haha, yeah, okay.
Look at you with all the talkers.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, he said it's him. Yeah, I learned from the last time. It's always fun to spend quality time with my family. Oh, this was fun. So that's how it sees. Okay, so yeah, really slightly delayed.
Just a short delay, like I want to say 30 seconds.
Yeah. Friends and family, that's what it's about. Yeah. Looks good, man. Yeah, thanks. I'm thinking, like I said, in the original drawing, the little one here, I was going to do some background work. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, not bad. Now I got to get back to drawing other silly stuff.
We didn't have any YouTube comments tonight.
Nope. Well,
I went to YouTube and I can't even figure out how they make the comments, so I don't know. Like, I know how to make comments on a regular video, but on a live video, there isn't like a comment feed, so I don't know how they do that. But
yeah, Chris is saying he likes the idea of doing the setups and then finishing them in a second video. Yeah, but the only problem with that is just my attention span. I think, though, this one I'll definitely want to finish, and doing it in a way that keeps me interested. Alright, I'm out of here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and what, I already said that.
these people have already liked and subscribed, but
Okay. It was nice talking to y'all. Peace be with you.
Thank you. Do you really want to close? Uh-oh. Oh no, you're live forever because it won't close. No, it seriously won't close. See that little white bar in the middle of the screen?
Yeah.
Try and, no, well, can you see if you can pull it off to the side? There you go. And kind of click towards bottom middle.
There's no time going.
Oh, look, it did.
Where do you want me to put it?
Oh no, yeah, you're not streaming anymore. Maybe you are.